You're welcome back. This is Newsfile brought to you by Bank of Africa, MTN, and Star Assurance. Are you a public service worker and need a loan to meet that dire financial need? Here is some good news for you. Apply for a loan from the Bank of Africa and you are sure of getting your loan approved within 48 hours. 48 hours. Enjoy up to 5 years to repay. Did you hear that? 5 years to repay. Get a discount on fees and ultimately start repaying the loan after 3 months, after 3 good months. Yes, that's some good news for you. Visit any Bank of Africa branch nationwide. For further inquiries, you can just go to any of their branches. Bank of Africa, they are strong as a group and close as a partner. On Sundays, the footballers meet at the park. The mutual guys at their joints. The church folk share the grace, and friends and family come over to visit. But now, with MTN Sunday Special, your Sunday just got more special. For only 50 pesos, you can text and talk all day, every Sunday. So who is it that you're talking to? Make sure that you activate this. And all you have to do to get the MTN Sunday Special is send the word yes to MTN short code 5050 to sign up and say welcome to the new world. MTN everywhere you go. And Star Assurance, they make sure that you feel in this world. If you take either their motto and travel policy, or you are taking their homeowners, contractors, all risk, fire and allied perils insurance policy, they just make sure that you feel like the dangers that exist in this world don't exist at all, and they ensure that you are smiling all the time. That's what they've been doing since 1985. You can trust them, can't you? So you log on to starassurance.com or visit any of their offices in the country. You could call them on 030-224-0632. That's 030-224-0632, and enjoy solid insurance all round. And Prostachio, that is the tea, the magical tea that we tell you about. It's a special formulated health drink that improves the following urinary problems in men, and these include frequent urination during the day and night, delayed urination, straining during urination, urgency to urinate, interruption of urine flow, dribbling of urine after urination. Prostachio from Medimosis Prostate Center. Locate them at a Denta Barrier, Tema, Ejay Kojo, or Ahenema Kokobing in Kumasi. You can call them 020-8140-668 or 024-4068-447. The numbers again, 020-8140-668 or 0244-068447. Just make sure you contact them and you get a solution to your problems as far as urination is concerned. Thank you very much for keeping your dials here. And a couple of weeks ago, I did bring to your information the very special work that is being done by that very wonderful young lady by name Golda. God willing, next week I should bring her here briefly so that she'll tell us more about the things that she's doing, raising funds to support a whole lot of activities that are important. You may not be able to identify some of these things and make your direct support. So how you do it is by, for example, channeling it through her so that people can get help. I told you about the Insawa Madrajiri cluster of schools disability access project, which is raising money for rehabilitation of the program support for prison inmates, hygiene and supplies for female prison inmates for a year. Female prison inmates need our help, and we need to go to their help. The local Osu and Mamprobi markets retooling or re-roofing support. We need to do some of these things. Individual Ghanaians, let's in our own be able to do some of these little helps to improve our society. It's not all the time that we have to look up to government, as it were, central government, to do all the things for us. Let's do the bit that we can do. And this young lady is putting people into school. There's a lady who is presently in the medical school, and her fees is being paid throughout. She was literally dropped. She had dropped out of school, but now her dream is alive and back on track. Next week, I'll engage her briefly, and she'll tell us how we can all support. So get ready and be willing to support us with some money to put some smiles in the faces of some people and give them hope in life. Now, again, maybe just right to, I wanted to start with you, but maybe I should start with Kuku rather. Kuku, this David McDermott, is it, has apparently been in the country for as long as he's wished, lived with us. Meanwhile, there's been a hunt for him in the UK over his alleged involvement in a 71 million, is it a 71, is it million pounds worth of cocaine that he's been involved in, and they've been looking for him and actually put out information on the internet that he was wanted. Somehow he's come to live with us for all this while, and we just found out and got to know that now he's more than a brother in this country.
Yes, and we are told, that is if I'm right, that there was collaboration between the British and the Ghanaian authorities.
That is so.
The secret intelligence community in busting him.
Right.
If that's correct, then I think there must have been a problem with information sharing, intelligence sharing, all this time. You see, I don't get it.
Explain.
If the man had been declared wanted all this time, so he was on the run, he's a fugitive of a sort from justice, and he was right within our jurisdiction, I'm not sure that we were sharing information, that's intelligence rather, sufficiently and timelessly. At what point in time do we begin the collaboration? Because if he had been declared wanted, and I'm sure the British intelligence or their appropriate authorities must have known that he had a Ghanaian connection. He has business in Ghana. I'm told he's in mining.
Yes.
He's married to a Ghanaian.
According to his father-in-law.
Yes. Even the British mentioned the name of the governor, perhaps just for factual presentation and not for any mischievous purposes. But I'm not comfortable with the idea of dragging in the governor by any other means. I'm not very comfortable about it, but it's factual in the sense that I don't know why the stepdaughter thing came in. Just say daughter, that's all, in my candid opinion.
Yeah, but that's a fact. He's telling all of you that, yeah, I've heard you say my daughter is involved in so and so. I want to admit to you that I have known the gentleman by the name that we have been giving as a country by which he was arrested, and that he's been married to my stepdaughter. It's a fact.
Yes, he stated a fact, but I would have avoided that. Say my daughter, finish, Safini. There's a certain sensitivity there because here we are talking of a crime, you know, so it's difficult to say my daughter.
So what is important for you is that he should have just simply stated the fact that he knew him, but not as a fugitive.
Yes, yes. And if he's married to your daughter, what's the big deal? Your daughter is not a criminal. It's him who is a suspect and on the run. So, but that's not a big deal. I don't think I should overrate it. You know, I'm sorry if I created that impression. But the point really I wanted to make was that the governor ought not to be dragged into this whole picture. That's the point I was making. Unless and until somebody brings something of evidential value to show that perhaps the gentleman had dealings, business dealings, or had used our banking system for certain things, and the governor had facilitated it. In the absence of any such thing, it's so immaterial to drag him in. But the point I was really making is that this gentleman, if indeed was on the radar of the British intelligence, and they were sharing information with us, and intelligence. Well, I don't know why I keep on saying information, because it's different. They are two different things. I then wonder why he was secured here for that period of time. I suspect maybe the collaboration began a bit late in the day. And so the intelligence might have come late in the day, and then we decided to collaborate and deal with him. All well and good that he's been busted, but of course, he hasn't yet been tried and pronounced guilty. So I have to be cautious again in how I go about it, you know. But otherwise, things like the Ghanaian passport and all those, there was a little bit of
They are being denied. They've been denied by the national security.
But not that he used it. But apparently he still was in possession of a Ghanaian passport. That was in somebody's name.
Different name altogether. So that's a new issue that they say they will pursue.
Yes, because people like that world, that underworld, they deal with things like that. Passports, ID cards and all the rest. It's part of the arsenal that they use to do their work. But whatever it is, I think it's okay. It's been busted. Extradition issues are underway. If it works, and I believe it should work, he's sent to Britain for appropriate trial, and then we'll see what happens. Really shouldn't be a big deal at all.
Well, there are those who say, but how could it be? Like we could suggest that there may have been some problem with the information sharing between the two security organizations. Otherwise, how could it be that the man will come and be associated with a person of the stature of the bank, the governor of the Bank of Ghana, without first the immediate security around that man getting to know, and then the larger security operation getting to know and busting him long ago?
Yeah, when I heard the news, I was a bit, I shouldn't say a bit, I was very uncomfortable. You see, because of the amount of time that this man has been with us and the amount of time that they've been looking for him. Because it means that I agree with him that definitely exchange of information, sharing of information or intelligence was not done properly. Because if you knew about this person and you're still investigating, at least you should have identified people that are in contact with him, because they do all sorts of things. We know they intercept all sorts of things when they are after you. So what happened, to the extent that they did not realize this is the person who he is in touch with, how he's moving around, and kept all this intelligent information until such time that maybe they might have identified where he was, and he was just saying, please let me go and help you to catch the person. So I think very little information has been given to us or our security agencies. They may just have helped to go find him where he lives through whatever they knew, which makes me very uncomfortable, because it means that there are things that they know that they are not sharing that might harm us, you know, and that they believe that they have some sort of authority. When they are ready, they'll come to the country and tell you, I'm ready to pick this person up, and so I'm not happy and I'm not comfortable. I think that we should be very demanding, and I therefore think that it is not just a matter of sending him back. We should also undertake some investigation to see what kind of other network this person has. Because if he's being able to protect himself for what, is it 6 years or something? Then it means
About
that there's 3 years. I mean, it's too long. It means that he's got people, because in this kind of situation, should I call it a profession? Criminal, you know, profession, you don't do it alone. Now, where does he keep the drugs? That's my biggest question. Where? So that nobody knows. Where? There has to be somewhere where he was keeping all of this. And therefore, there are people who are looking after these things for him.
With drugs.
You know? No, I understand, but we are talking about, they are calling him a baron.
Justice. That's what the thing is, yeah.
Yeah, but you are saying this is the kind of man he is. A retired police commissioner once told me, as soon as a story about drugs gets into the newspaper, then you know that they arrived long ago, which means the people who are dealing with it. A drug baron doesn't escape and sit there and keep quiet. I'm sorry. It's like a mafia. So they are not going. It gives them a new opportunity where they are to try and organize their network and bypass the hot area so that now they have a cooler area to deal with. So I think that we should also investigate and make sure that there's no network that he has built within those 3 years. Running away and coming here, and he's in mining.
The governor says
who knows what
that
he's
he's in the
importing
mining sector.
Yeah, but what is he importing and exporting? He's in the mining sector.
He may have done some, checks and found out that he was doing, genuine business.
No, fine. But we also know that genuine business can be a front so that he looks legit. And then he might be using his business to do all sort of things behind. So you need to find out what has been happening even within his business. Because no drug baron, they didn't say a drug dealer. They said a drug baron. He's not going to retire.
It's because of the amount involved in the one that he was involved in. That is 71 million pounds.
It's a lot. So it means that he's not going to sit down and relax. This is what he does best. The mining is the front. I'm sorry, we've heard enough and read enough and seen
people
enough.
Change. Maybe if it happens to be the real case that yes, he was caught and that he's guilty of that, when he left and escaped, he was able to change and now to do genuine business.
This is why I'm saying he's not a drug dealer. He's a baron. A baron doesn't change overnight because you belong to a mafia. They will get rid of you because you have changed. What are you going to do?
Okay.
You may squeal, and then they will get into trouble. So it's not an easy thing. If you read about some of these things, it's not an easy thing. So you're saying that the Ghanaian security authority should not let it end there? No, they should also investigate and see what is put on the ground. And we hope nothing. I will be happy if he has changed. And I will be scared for him if he has changed, because of the world he lives in.
I see. Now, look, James, the question that's been posed is, how was he here for all that while and he was here doing business? Under what name? And it does appear that he was using the same name. How could he have been in Ghana doing business under the same name and he was not detected? If he went to immigration, he would have needed, work permits to be able to carry out business. I mean, didn't it occur to them that they could just Google up his name and all the information about he being wanted in the UK would have come up?
Thank you, Samson. We even have ways of establishing the identities of people who enter our country.
If you're using wrong names to...
We have ways of doing it. We have ways of doing it. But you see something, let me just ask you a question. Our own Honorable Erika Mwating, lived with us. He served as a member of parliament for several years. He was involved in the narcotics business.
Yes.
Sometimes the security agencies can be armed with information about what you do, your criminal activities. But for strategic reasons, they will not immediately arrest you.
That's correct.
Because it's like a cabal. It's a ring. And so if you have to bust the ring or the majority of the members of the ring, if you immediately arrest, you have denied yourself the ability of effecting the arrest of...
So they would have known about his presence, they would have known about he getting married to the Bank of Ghana's stepdaughter, and all of that. They would have been quiet about it because they needed a certain time to
Absolutely. Remember that the alleged crime...
Are you speculating or you are giving us the facts? No, we need to know because you're a deputy minister. You are a deputy minister of Nigeria.
As we speak now, investigations are ongoing
Yeah, and so some of the findings are what you are putting out.
No, I will not want to do anything to undermine
so you are
the ongoing investigations.
I just want to know if you are speculating.
No, I'm speaking in general terms, so that I'm not reported.
I hear
the new crusading guy that's having said that these are the facts. No, so I'm speaking in general terms.
I hear you.
Yes, the modus operandi of our security agencies, in general terms, not in specific relation to McDermott.
Okay. I hear you, madam.
I'm saying that McDermott is alleged to have committed a crime in the United Kingdom. And so it is the responsibility of the government of the United Kingdom to furnish their Ghanaian counterparts with information. Then there can be some form of collaboration leading to the arrest of the fugitive. That was done, and so the British government has not faulted our security agencies for being lax in their operations. Rather, they have commended our security agencies for putting up a good show in collaborating with them to effect the arrest of McDermott. What is important is that the governor, as an individual, as a person, has no connection whatsoever with the alleged commission of the crime in the UK. His only connection is that his stepdaughter is married to McDermott. There's nothing wrong with that. Like Kweku said, unless, of course, somebody has evidence which points to the fact that the governor knew or ought to have known that McDermott was a fugitive and yet nothing was done about it. In any case, his daughter is an adult. So Dr. Wampah cannot be held responsible, assuming the daughter even played a role in the commission of McDermott's crime in the UK. You cannot hold the governor responsible for the crimes of his adult daughter. Let us even assume that
I'm not sure anybody has done that. People have only expressed concern that such a character will come so close to the governor of the central bank without saying being detected.
Look, the daughter in question is an adult, right? A consenting adult who saw some McDermott, fell in love with her and they tied the knot. What is Wampah's business in any case? Wampah is the governor of Bank of Ghana. Really, something. Let's be sincere. In our analysis, what role could Wampah have played? He doesn't work work with the security agencies.
Yeah, but
so you go and call for. Is it usual of us? Something is it usual for father-in-laws to call for security checks on prospective son-in-laws? Is that what we're saying?
That's not for ordinary fathers.
In any case,
ordinary fathers. That if anybody had come closer to the president, wanted to marry the president's stepdaughter, national security will run checks on that person.
Well, something. It's instructive that the British High Commissioner has come out to say, listen, this is government's responsibility to continue with the investigations. As we speak. We have already dealt with the extradition processes. Warrants have been signed for McDermott to be extradited to the UK and for the investigations to continue there, or for him to be charged and brought before justice.
When was this concluded? The issuing of the warrant?
No, I can confirm to you that the minister did assign the warrant for the extradition of McDermott. And so, having concluded...
He had appeared in court once.
Yes.
Was he back in the court?
Because the judicial processes were concluded. And the ministry duly notified. The request was sent from the Attorney General's department. And so I can confirm that the ministry has acted on the extradition request. The warrants have been issued, and so McDermott would leave our jurisdiction at the earliest
opportunity. Investigation, everything will continue in the UK.
In the UK. And of course in Ghana as well.
That's what I was
in Ghana as well. We're not shutting the doors to any form of investigations because McDermott, I mean, would be extradited.
Because these are some of the questions people are raising about it. People, somebody like Frank Anderson Jr., he's somewhere in the UK, and he says that will it be fair to conclude that his mine business was set up with proceeds of crime, therefore they must be confiscated by Ghana, or whatever should happen
after his trial,
after conviction?
Yes.
And that's like Madam Loco said, some investigation should go into the business links and how he operated the business in Ghana.
Definitely, and I hinted that, in fact, as we speak, investigations are ongoing.
Okay.
If it is established that, yes,
in Ghana
as well, there's a link between his mine business in Ghana and the proceeds of crime in the UK, the necessary tracing will be done. That is why we have the Financial Intelligence Center and confiscations done if appropriate. This is not the only time that we have collaborated with the British to arrest fugitives in this country. Remember the case of, and it's very recent, Arthur Simpson Kent. He was also arrested in the Western region through collaboration. He had committed murder,
alleged to have killed
his family,
in
the UK,
2 kids and the
wife, and absconded to seek refuge in Ghana. Through collaboration, I mean, we arrested him with the speed of light. The British government commended us highly.
In his case, it took just a few days.
We were highly commended.
It didn't take him the 3 years.
Yeah, because he was a murder fugitive, remember? And so you don't need to conspire with too many people to commit murder. But when we talk about narcotics-related offenses, it is an organized form of crime.
That's right.
And so investigators sometimes may adapt other strategies to try to get to the bottom and arrest an entire ring.
Okay, right. Now, can we hear from what you have to say about?
Yes, not much to add to what my colleagues have said, but as a nation, we need to look at our hospitality and compassion sort of thing.
Index.
Yes, index. Yes. We seem to have a wholesale sort of thing. We welcome anybody in without due diligence. And you tie this one in with what we just discussed about the security alertness and all that. It goes into all that. And just...
Don't you say some of them are just difficult to detect, so it will not be the case that we are just being unnecessarily hospitable?
Yeah, but of course...
Caution is better.
Yes, that is what we're saying. We're saying that whoever comes along, whether to the hotel, comes to you as a friend, even a church member, you need to be extra careful. You need to be curious. You need to be asking questions. And then probing further and further, so you can have people's intent and whatever they have in their minds. Now, what has come with police clearance reports, establishing businesses and all that? Because we know sometimes we need to be more proactive and more preventive in some of these things. We do not sit down for things to happen, then we try to find solutions to them. So what has happened with police clearance reports and all that on foreigners? And it goes to tell you how porous our borders are, the airports, the seaport, the
roads,
land borders, and all those things.
But when your passport is the easiest to acquire by a foreigner, what do you say about clearance?
That is the problem. And we have a biometric passport system designed to check and to clear all these things. And yet, here we are. So we spend money, time, and energy, resources to create the system, and then we find ways to circumvent it and make it useless and wastage of resources, time, and everything.
Sometimes there's not enough resources for them to do their work.
To do their work. Well, that is it. So for now, it's good they've gotten this man, and it's not good for Ghana on the international map. Of course, it may be good for us. We've been just the deputy minister said
it's not good for us that somebody has run to hide in our country. What role do we have to play in that?
Gradually, here is becoming a heaven for criminals.
This is a question I was
just recently, Medra
had Simpson Kent.
Yes, I've had a good time here. This man is only God knows how many of them.
But I thought that rather will be praised for the speedy nature in which we got Arthur Simpson back. And the minister is explaining to you now that in the case of McDermott, he is, suspected to be involved in drugs, and that is organized crime. You need to take your time and to trace all other persons so that you don't just arrest one person.
I agree. I perfectly agree with him. He even said we've been praised. Thank God for that. But the point still remains that getting into Ghana, establishing yourself, seems to be easy. Than other jurisdictions.
I think it's a call to action.
Yes,
for
and
me,
only
it's a
God
call
knows
to
how
action.
many of them are still out there that we have.
Let me read a few messages and let's see if you could have 2-3 minutes each bite at the Smarties Matters. Now, Kofi Atta in Cambridge in the UK says the Deputy Interior Minister should not compare Ghana to the UK when it comes to checks and balances on the issue of the spy bill. This is because in the UK, institutions do work and are respected, unlike Ghana. Here in the UK, citizens and groups can easily seek judicial reviews when institutions and politicians act over and above the law and their authority. But that is not the case in Ghana. Well, in Ghana, if you also feel, why not? And these days, our human rights courts, they are so swift with these, they won't condone it. So I think that many people should be bold to go to court. That's the point, really. Thank you. Ibrahim Kopa, what are the positive effects of retooling the police service when indeed there is general insecurity in the country? Innocent Ghanaians are murdered in their homes. Armed robbery is on the ascendancy. That's a question you cannot say for sure. There is general feeling of insecurity by the citizens. Yes, a partisan-oriented deputy minister wants me to believe all is well. Okay, so in respect of that, there's another message that ties in with it from Frank Anderson. He says the state has a duty to run counter-terrorism courses for security officers, manning hotels, banks, and all other public places. As to what to look out for and how to identify suspicious characters by using CCTV cameras. And this should be done at the cost of these companies. That's a good suggestion coming in. Washington, Wasa Wantram says, I was utterly shocked to the marrow when I passed the Bank of Ghana offices in Kumasi yesterday to realize that there seems to be little urgency in our preparedness for any possible threat. I could see 2 security officers on duty chatting their morning away whilst people walked in and out of the bank's premises. This is a sensitive establishment and I expected something different from what I saw. Well, you may not know if there are some plainclothes guys there also doing same thing. Okay, so let's...
Also chatting.
Okay, now, was that... okay, I understand that I need to take my final break. And then when we return, if there is time, I get 2 minutes each from you on the Smarties issue, whether the minority got it wrong when they try to blow the alarm or raise the alarm on that issue. We'll be right back.